defensive coordinator, Jordan Lesley. Coach, questions for Coach?
So, Jordan, just good and bad from Saturday night. What did you see?
Yeah, I thought good. I really was happy with the way our kids fought. Got put in some couple tough situations there in the first half. Was able to get out of them, forced 2 missed field goals. And I don't know how close anybody watches that, but that guy was pulling those kicks because of the push that we were getting on the front. Thought in the front seven was happy overall with the night. The bad, I think situationally had to be a little smarter, a little more aggressive, especially in coverage. And then technique when things are moving fast and into the game when we're tired. There's really more technical issues, fundamental issues than things that were big and major. And the thing about that is a team like that, all it takes is one, and they make you pay.
So coverage issues, just breakdowns, or just
well, the first drive, Aubrey's seen that route a ton when our offense runs that route. He overplays it by about a yard, gets into a speed turn late, and if you pause that film at the point of the catch, he's, probably 6 inches from the ball, and he lays out to make a play. Probably shouldn't have, and just finish a play and get it down, play another play. He lays out, he's on the ground, it runs away from him for a touchdown. The same play in the red zone, Beanie Bishop and Anthony, same play, different spacing where it was being ran. And so Anthony's got to accept that back. Beanie takes it for a split second, comes back off. It looked different because of the spacing. So it's just little things. It's little things. Some of the man coverage stuff, again, understanding the situation, we got to be a little more aggressive. The ones I thought were really hurt more to me were the 2 second and longs. Just got to be aware of what they're trying to do in that situation, and play it better, fundamentally better.
He said he was at Will and Trey was at Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you? Because I thought Lee was at Mike pretty much all camp. When did you decide that switch?
Well, it's the two positions essentially are the same, and they mirror each other. And for what the skill set we wanted, especially going into that game, with how we thought they would attack us in the run game, that was a better fit. And so, you'll probably, as the year goes on, you'll see those guys interchange depending on, but the techniques, the calls, what they do, the jobs, they're very interchangeable and they're the same. That's I think something that fits for this game, fit Lee a little better.
I guess it's better that Lee's not just locked into one or the other.
Yeah, I don't know any linebacker that has a future in this game that is not able to play multiple positions and do different things, whether it's blitz, rush, drop, all the things that they have to do. So it obviously helps him down the road.
I asked Neil about the rub play. Seems to be a lot more downfield blocking on passing plays. And not just your game, watch games all weekend, it seems to be that way. As a defensive coach, how do you defend it if we're going to allow them to play that way?
I can go down that road of what my opinion of it it should be, and it really doesn't matter, and nobody really cares.
But you have to defend it.
Sure, you have to defend it, and so, people talk about man coverage and playing tighter and things all the time, and that's all good and great until you have to play it exactly the right formation and understand when that's coming, and that's really hard to do. And so, you have to get up there and make the proper adjustments in the same call, just based on the splits. Well, if in the case of the night, the splits didn't change, and so usually there's something that may tip that to where the other night they really don't really tip that. They did on the one on the motion, which I thought they played pretty well. The touchdown, they didn't, and it's just at the high red zone, and the split is a normal split, and it's not an excuse. They got to play it better. If they don't combo that route, they got to, my man's my man, no matter what, and fight through whatever you consider a rub or a screen or, whatever. And so, I'm not going to complain about that. That's the game now and what it is. And you got to figure out a way.
Seems like usually it's the big kid doing the rub, though.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if anybody has a perfect call, I'll, give it to me. I'll listen.
You mentioned linebacker. What did you think of Trey in his first start?
I thought there's some things that he is. Trey's a young player. I think that for his first game in that environment and a game of that magnitude, I was really pleased with how he played overall. There's a couple things that the more you see them as they're moving fast against an opponent like that and a run game that has the capability to be as explosive as their run game does, and things are moving fast, and you're trying to figure out, all right, this was their schemes we worked, this was the schemes they're trying to attack us with tonight, and adjust it. I thought he did a real nice job, and now with that experience, it will only slow down for him, and I think he'll be fine.
Jordan, you guys felt pretty confident in the depth of your defensive line. I think you ran 8 people out there and split the playing time up pretty good. What did you see that kind of reinforced the confidence you all had to be effective in quantity of players?
Yeah, I think that's the quality of the depth. I'll start with Fatorma, who is a guy we took from Penn State, and you'll see structurally, defensively, for them, we thought he was playing a little bit out of position, and so we take him and move him into really playing one of about 3 different techniques, and just use what he is, which is big and powerful and strong, and control 2 gaps at times, but primarily one of the A gaps. And the thing that stuck out about him was he ran to the ball. His film actually wasn't great because of the position he was playing, but Fatorma ran to the ball every time. And that's kind of one of the evaluations we took as we were building our depth up front, knowing that structurally we would be a little bit different. And I thought it really showed, controlling the line of scrimmage. That's a team that had averaged through 13, I think, ball games last year, right at 180, above 180 yards a game rushing. And for that last drive, I mean, whatever, but it was about a little over 100 somewhere. And I thought they did a really nice job. And anytime that a team is again, the capability of their run game, and you can control it with your depth, and you roll 8 guys in there, that makes a lot of other things easily correctable and fixable, and we just got to maintain that and get better at a couple of things up front, some alignment things, but I was really happy with it.
I don't know if it's the 2 linebackers or if it's defensive linemen, but you seem like you brought pressure with the linebackers more than maybe I noticed before, but is that individually specific to them, or is that the defensive line get some help and it just makes sense to do it?
Say that again. I didn't hear that.
It seems like you've listed a lot with them. I don't know if it's because they're good at it and they have the skill at least better out there, or did the defensive line make it so that there were going to be gaps and why not create and take advantage?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a part of some of the things we do with those 2 guys. And like I said, I mentioned earlier, they're interchangeable. And our plan primarily for them was to bring them more inside than we did outside, trying to punch a hole in the run game. And the thing that showed up, there a lot was Lee especially has a pass rush knack, ability. He had a really good rush on their right guard, and he going back to last year, the Oklahoma State game, he had a sack and a half, really 2. He split one with Eddie V. The same thing, and so he's good at punching a hole in the offense, whether it's run game, pass game. So that's just part of how we were planning to attack some of their schemes, but they both have that skill set, that we create different fronts with that, and it helps. I mentioned Fatorma and Hammond and Mike. It helps those nose guards really kind of. Or traditionally, you're going to just ask them to eat blocks that allows them not to have to do that the entire game.
Takeaways, still a work in progress yet. couple chances at interceptions. What did you see on those plays, and how do you try to generate?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the interception piece. I mean, here's the plain truth of it: is you have to make those in those games against opponents like that, and we didn't. Missed some opportunities, missed two there. I don't really. The second one, I mean, we end up forcing a missed field goal, but the difference is where our offense, you know, gets the ball there. So you still have to make those. But that's really a wash. There was no points involved. The first one, you know, that's the one you really have to make off a tip. That you're looking at a tie ball game, and your offense gets the ball in really good field position, and you know, Beanie's guys made that play a ton in camp. I mean, you just got to make them right there. You know, some things we got to clean up, but I'm not, you know, just like Coach Brown said, I'm not discouraged in any way of anything we did. Our kids fought their ass off, especially there at the end of the first half. And you know, if we just ton to build on and get better and clean up some things, especially in coverage, we'll be fine.
As far as Duquesne, Coach Brown talked about the QB throws a good deep ball. What have you noticed from them that you guys got to worry about from the defensive perspective? Do you agree with that? What's your
Yeah, I mean, he does. I mean, they a lot of the same flavor protection-wise that Pitt did. I mean, Penn State did. They, you know, the two deep balls were 7-man protections and essentially isolate a part of your secondary, which is tough. You'll see that same flavor, and all you're going to get on that is deep balls. So, you know, you can say pressure's the answer, but it's still same as, you know, you're still isolating. So those are just things that we got to work on playing it, work on the route combinations. And then, you know, we got to figure out a way off of those same rushes to transition back into the pocket. I thought on those two plays that the pocket was a little too clean, even though we're rushing 4 and they're max protecting. It's still the same protection structure, and so those are things we got to work on inside with their interior rush when we're not trying to blitz and bring pressure. We still have to transition from a run look to a pass rush. So it all ties together, and we just got to improve.
Talking to Mike before you got in here, and the general impression it seemed to be is that they felt like they held their own against a really good offensive line and a left tackle that could be a top 10 pick. Is that the impression that you got, and is that a message that you're giving to your guys up front moving forward?
Well, yeah and no. You show them the good, you show them the bad. You know, and you know, it's very simple. You know, good teams see what they do good, and they try to improve and repeat, and they see what they do bad, and they just fix it. And that's our attitude. You know, I hope it's a confidence builder, but there's no moral victories, you know, here. You know, not you know, when we're not going down, we're not doing that. You know, I thought we had our opportunities. We didn't take advantage of them in key situations against teams like that. It costs you. I'm happy with how they played. The effort and the aggression was there. The things we talk about. We just have to got to play better. And as happy as I am, I think it's a ton to build on. But a team that is as good as they are, you got to play better, and that's as simple as I can make it.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.